Welcome back to Poorly Educated Today in the News, the only show where we try to make sense of why my neighbor Earl still thinks AI stands for Amish Internet. We got a whole lot of global drama, domestic chaos, and technological wizardry today, and by the end, you'll be thinking, wow, we really are living in the dollar store version of the Roman Empire. Let's roll into it. Segment 1. The Transparency Tango. DOJ doing the hokey-pokey with the records. You put the files online, you take the files offline, you redact them all up, then you shake democracy around. That's basically where we are with the DOJ and this transparency mandate. Congress said, release all the unclassified stuff, and the DOJ said, sure, then immediately acted like a raccoon stealing trash. Grab one thing, drop another, run into the woods, hiss at reporters. 16 whole files vanished from the portal, including one folks claim had a picture of Trump, Epstein, and a few others all mingling like they were at the world's worst cocktail mixer. And suddenly it's gone, like my cousin Bud's child support payments. Lawmakers are furious, which is hilarious, because these people ain't been furious about grocery prices, but you touch one file and suddenly everyone's constitutional Hulk Hogan. Survivors are calling the release a slap in the face, and honestly, I get it. If you're gonna release records, don't black out everything but the page numbers. It looks like the DOJ printed the Bible but only left in the table of contents. Congress is now threatening subpoenas, and knowing them, by the time they finish arguing about the subpoenas, it'll be 2037. Segment 2. Venezuela blockade, oil, anger, and a whole lot of boats. Now let's talk Venezuela, where the U.S. has decided to go full "don't make me come down there" dad mode. We've got a full blockade, which under international law is kind of like saying, hey world, we're totally not starting something, but we kinda are. The administration says they're just reclaiming stolen assets. Critics say it's an act of war. My redneck brain says somebody's about to get grounded. The U.S. seized another tanker, this one called the Centuries. 2 in 2 weeks. Soon we'll run out of boat names and start grabbing things like the Salty Otter. Officials claim the tankers are tied to narco-terrorism, but critics say the evidence is thinner than my uncle's hairline. Venezuela's VP calls it piracy. Honestly, if you're arguing over who's the pirate, the situation's already gone bad. Experts say we might see airstrikes. That's right. We went from drug interdiction to blockade to maybe planes. This is the international relations version of a bar fight where everyone insists they don't want trouble but keeps taking their shirt off anyway. Segment 3. The AI takeover, one standard to rule them all. Now on to AI, the new national religion. The administration signed this big ol' order saying states can't have their own AI rules anymore. If California wants stricter controls, too bad. The feds basically said, you want broadband money? Delete your woke robot laws. Ain't nothing more American than bribery dressed up as policy. NVIDIA's Jensen Huang says AI is going to take the global GDP from $100 trillion to $500 trillion. Man, if that happens, maybe groceries will be affordable again. But with my luck, AI inflation will kick in, and a carton of eggs will cost whatever Elon Musk says his mood is worth that day. Meanwhile, they're building these gigantic data centers called Stargates. Yes, Stargates. As if we were one government misstep away from summoning interdimensional chickens. The energy demands are so big, the administration's shutting down climate labs while saying "build, baby, build" to every server farm in the country. We're on track to create either the most powerful AI in history or the world's most expensive space heater. Segment 4. Operation Hawkeye Strike. When vengeance becomes policy. Let's head to Syria, where Operation Hawkeye Strike just dropped more ordnance than my Aunt Rita drops passive-aggressive hints at Thanksgiving. This is retaliation for the deadly ambush that killed 2 U.S. soldiers and a civilian interpreter. In redneck terms, the administration said, "Hit us once, we hit back 70 times." They used F-15s, A-10s, and Apaches. Basically, every aircraft that looks like it wants to punch you in the face. Over 100 precision munitions. And the wildest part? The Syrian transitional government is reportedly on board with all this. It's the Middle East's weirdest buddy cop episode. America and a brand new government teaming up to beat ISIS like they owe parking tickets. President Trump says if anyone harms Americans, the response will be harder than ever before. That's a bold promise from a man who once said windmills cause cancer. Segment 5. Florida Man Diplomacy, Peace Talks for Ukraine. Now let's mosey down to Florida, where, in true Florida fashion, we are trying to end a major European war in a place where people normally argue about alligators in swimming pools. Putin's envoy Dmitriev is meeting with Trump's envoy Witkoff and, yes, Jared Kushner, which means diplomacy now runs through the guy who once tried to solve Middle East peace with PowerPoint slides. Ukraine says talks are moving quickly. Russia says they're constructive. And I say any geopolitical negotiation happening in Florida automatically loses 2 seriousness points. Still, this could end the 4-year conflict, or at least kick it into a timeline where everyone claims victory, even if nobody got what they wanted. Meanwhile, the EU is dropping 90 billion euros to keep Ukraine afloat, proving once again Europe's solution to everything is, have you tried massive loans? Segment 6. Wall Street whoopin', markets up, morale down. Let's tackle the economy, where the Nasdaq is flying high thanks to AI stocks, while regular Americans still feel like someone duct-taped their wallets shut. Inflation slowed, but prices are still high, especially meat, which jumped almost 5%. My buddy Cletus said he had to take out a loan just to buy brisket, and I believe him. The man once financed a rotisserie chicken. President Trump claims grocery prices are falling, but the data says otherwise. It's like claiming your truck is getting better mileage right as it rolls into a ditch. And even though the AI market is booming, 70% of people say the cost of living is not affordable. That's not a statistic. That's a punchline. Nike's struggling, Bitcoin's bouncing like a toddler on a trampoline, and the Dow had a rough week. This economy is basically a 3-legged dog trying its best. You feel bad for it, you root for it, but you also don't want to ride it. Segment 7. Hollywood Tragedy and Cultural Shifts. We also saw the heartbreaking loss of Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer Reiner. The details are tragic, and Hollywood is grieving, with names like Larry David and Billy Crystal calling them a special force. Their son's case is heading to court in January. It's one of those stories where every detail hurts, and even rednecks like me stop joking for a moment. You don't lose figures like that without the whole country feeling a little quieter. Meanwhile, Pope Leo XIV is gathering all the cardinals in early January, like he's throwing the Vatican Super Bowl. Media's in a spin cycle, too. CNN's ownership battle rages, SNL says goodbye to Bowen Yang, and every magazine cover looks like an AI startup pitch deck. Segment 8. Colorado on fire, literally in December. Finally, winter wildfires in Colorado because Mother Nature said, seasons? Never heard of them. Hurricane-force winds, 100 miles per hour gusts, power shutoffs, trees flying around like they forgot how gravity works. Thousands lost heat in December, which is the worst time to practice becoming a pioneer. It's a weird moment when you realize the climate crisis is so bad, even Christmas trees want to spontaneously combust. And yet, the administration is closing climate labs while saying data centers need more juice. I'm no scientist, but when the woods are burning in December, maybe unplug one computer. In conclusion, America is juggling more crises than a one-armed man with 12 bowling balls. We've got transparency battles, Venezuelan standoffs, AI empires rising, international vengeance policies, Florida diplomacy, economic whiplash, cultural heartbreaks, and fires in places that shouldn't be flammable right now. And as always, the Poorly Educated Podcast is here to help you laugh so you don't cry. Or at least cry in a funny way. Hang tight, stay informed, and don't let anyone tell you the future is predictable. We'll see y'all next time.